Okay, we're back. So we're on principle number four, right? We've gone through the first three. Man going on a journey gives his servants based on their ability, and then he withdraws. He goes on the journey. Number four, and this is where it starts to get really interesting. It says that the man who received the 5 talents went at once and put his money to work. Did you get that? He went out at once and put his money to work. And this is the key that most of us tend to miss. It says that the man put his money to work. Put his money to work. He didn't go to work. He put the money to work. And this is where we miss it. Why? Because if you look at your life based on or its relationship to money, you discover that what you have been doing in all probability is working for money. We're holding down a job, 2.5 jobs, 3 jobs. We're working in the morning, working in the night because we want to make more money. We have made money the boss. In another part of Matthew, Matthew chapter 6, Jesus actually says, and this is also very important, that there are two masters, right? Which we cannot serve simultaneously. God, but he never mentions the devil. He says money. God and money, those are the two masters in the world. Most of us think that the devil is, you know, this big scary guy. Jesus doesn't even mention him. He said the only two masters in the world are God and money, and that you can't serve both of them. You would either serve one and despise the other, right? So what is he saying? Why does he use money? He uses money because money is the most personal thing that we tend to hold to ourselves. We are all thinking about money, how to make it, how to get more of it, how to, generate it, make it 1,000 times larger, how to make our accounts, in the words of a song I heard, that used to be popular back in the day, make our accounts fat and shapeless, right? Want it to be $1 trillion or whatever it is. We're all concerned with money. And when we do that, our mindset is we are working to get money. But that is the wrong approach. The parable says that this man put his money to work. He doesn't go to work, he put the money to work. So, what does it mean? It means that you're not supposed to work for money. When you work for money, you make money the boss. What you're supposed to do is to work for purpose. Why? Because when you work for purpose, the money follows. That is the way things are structured. That is the way God ordained it. Remember that He owns the wealth, and He gives wealth for a reason. That reason is for His will, His desires to be accomplished on the earth, His purposes. So when you are walking according to your purpose, which is actually His purpose, that is when you attract resources. When we talk about provision, it actually means the provision for your vision. Provision. Vision is tied to purpose. When you're walking your purpose and you can see your vision and you're walking towards it, the resources begin to come. So don't work for money, work for purpose. When you work for purpose, then the resources start to follow you. In the same Matthew chapter 6, Jesus also gives this very key point. He said, consider the birds of the air, right? Why? Or why should you consider them? They don't spin, they don't weave, they don't do anything, but yet the Heavenly Father feeds them. And you are worth much more than the birds. Consider the birds. Why did he say consider the birds? What is the only thing that birds do? Be birds, right? And if you look at all the creatures of nature that God created, out of all the living things, human beings are the only species, quote unquote, that are looking all the time to be something else other than what they're supposed to be. Birds don't concern themselves with wanting to be goats. Goats don't concern themselves with wanting to be lions, right? Each animal understands what he or she's or it's supposed to be, and it does that thing. Birds were created to be birds, to fly, to sing, whatever it is. The way they're just birds. Man, on the other hand, wants to be this person, wants to be that person, wants to be a scientist, wants to be a technician, wants to be an aristocrat, wants to be all manner of things, you know, other than what he was supposed to be in the first place. So when he said consider the birds, right, he's saying that the birds are doing their thing based on their purpose, and they're taken care of because they are focusing on purpose. They're not focusing on getting the resources that they need. They're just doing what they were created to do. So you are supposed to do what you're created to do. Once you do that, then the resources that you need to sustain you in the journey would follow you. That is the way you're supposed to work, right? Don't work for money, work for purpose. Okay.